You know, I realized that in the last episode, we were on top of the world, you know, tallest building maybe ever. I can't remember what the actual lore is. I didn't push anybody off the top of that. I think I'm starting to lose my touch in Hitman 3 here.
Yeah, well, I mean, the top of the... I don't know if that's lore. That's like real life. It's the tallest building in the world. But yeah, I see the...
I don't think I don't think that's a real building in real life. I mean, you know that like buildings have copyrights on them. They can't just appear in video games.
I didn't know that actually. Like because like who would enforce that though? Like the owner of the building? Are you talking
I don't
like
know. The International Building Copyright Conglomerate. It exists. It exists because they had to. They couldn't use any of the real life buildings in Chicago in Watch Dogs.
Wow. Okay. So like even like that the one with the spikes that they hold on to at the Babysitters Club. Am I remembering that movie right? Like with the helicopter? Am I just imagining? Am I just combining a bunch of movies from the 1980s here?
I mean, that sounds like something that might have happened in the 1980s, perhaps.
I don't know. I thought there was a movie. You know that that tower in Chicago that's got like that diagonal spike thing at the top, like with the roof. I thought there was a movie where somebody's hanging on the top of that, and I thought that was also the Babysitter Club, but that might have been a completely different movie.
I think you're thinking of King Kong.
Oh. Okay, maybe.
You know, there was this gigantic like gorilla or something, and then some sort of like a mustachioed plumber man had to jump up to rescue the person at the top of it.
That was actually Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, yeah. All right. I mean, we all remember that incredibly good musical sting. Can you recall exactly how it went again?
Talk about poetic.
Oh, yeah. Da, na, 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 na. Someone called me out in the comments.
I knew it. I set it up right for that because I knew. Right. By the way, if we're doing the entire like house clearing thing, it was Alias.
You told me about this comment.
Because it had to. Look, I have to make this clear that the word it wasn't code name, it wasn't target name, whatever sort of ridiculous nonsense that you were saying. The target name, alias.
I mean, like code name is pretty close to Alias. Like I know what you're talking about.
I feel like Alias is that much more important. I mean, just ask Jennifer Garner about that.
Oh yeah. That was she was the star of what was that show called? Dark Angel? Am I thinking of that right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Another show that I remember being on television and seeing commercials for all the time, but have no idea what actually happened in it.
You know, with the Jessica Alba. No. Okay.
Yes.
No.
Well, anyway, hey, we are at an austere manse in the English countryside to deal with the last person of Providence, the last of the four kings here, who of course left the tower in the previous episode, like flying directly past our helicopter. I feel like that's some sort of violation of airspace, but it doesn't matter. Whatever. We're now going to kill her, even though she's already dead. Or is she? It was a faked murder. But it wasn't actually a murder.
So it was a death in the family.
There was indeed a death in the family. No, wait. I mean, well, there's going to be a death. Look. There will indeed be a murder. Murder most foul in this episode. Because, you know, I'm a hitman.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Not a government man?
No.
Okay.
I have... Hitman worked for the government. He was like working for... What was it?
The shadow government.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Let's just... Well, actually, we're not doing that because she's like the head of the shadow government.
She's the head of the shadow
But like
government?
now we're working against the shadow government.
Okay. Oh, okay. Are we...
Yes.
Are we murdering her?
Look, we went through the entire plot of the series last time. I can't believe you don't remember every part of it.
I mean, she was... Is she alive or not? Are we going to kill an alive person?
Okay, if we just walked into the mission and found out that Alexa was dead the entire time, do you...
Would we get a success or a failure? That's one of those philosophical questions. Like, does a cow have? Is there a such thing as a black cow in England? If there aren't any cows in England, like it's one of those kinds of questions. Do you
I would say
mission?
that no.
Oh,
because there are no cows in England, so there's not such a thing as a black cow in England.
Oh, but mathematically, there actually would be. I don't know.
No, I want you to explain this now.
If it's empty, then it's trivial that the empty set would have character. I mean, I guess that would be a bad example. I just misstated it then.
An empty set would have no character to it. Okay, well, I guess I can see what you're talking about. It's just like, are there only even numbers in this empty set, right?
No, it wouldn't be true that there are no black cows in England in that case.
Welcome back to Hitman the Math.
But it would be true that all cows in England are black. It would be trivially true. But it would also be true that all cows in England are white, because there are no cows in England. And so all of these things are trivially true.
There are definitely cows in England, though, right?
Do you fail the mission if you commit an assassination on somebody who's already dead? Because your goal was to make them dead. You failed at that mission, but your goal of making it so that they are dead was completed. Would you say that was a mission failure?
Actually, the funny thing is here that question will in fact be answered in this episode.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, I was just surprisingly enough, yes. But we'll get to that later.
Okay.
Look, we've got a murder to perform right now.
Because I was just like, oh, well, I've been watching this logic problem.
Well, there is actually a concrete answer to that.
Okay. Because if you think about it, like, it does matter. Like, what happens if you're an assassin and somebody slips on a banana peel by chance and you don't?
Somebody slips on a banana peel by. I mean, that they wouldn't. By the way, that's actually an important thing to remember. No banana peels in this mission. Like, there were so many bananas in the first mission, and now we get none. And you know what? There is in fact fish, and I was told previously that you could also put down fish on the floor to be able to like trip people. That does not work.
I'm curious if the consumption of bananas in the UK is significantly less than it is in the United States, because we have more access to the markets and stuff.
Yeah, we're closer to the
like
tropics?
South America and like the Caribbean and the Central America and stuff. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that might be the case, because it's just like it would definitely be a little bit harder to get this in this the austere English man, as mentioned before.
Bananas are like 29 cents a pound. Like,
oh yeah, no, I have actually had to look up online. It's just like, hey, is it unhealthy to eat this many bananas? Because it's just like these bananas were gonna go rotten soon, so they were like 25 cents a pound.
No. It's so much potassium. It's healthy. Anyone out there, you can eat as many bananas. No, I shouldn't give medical advice. That's a terrible
The answer is, it's just like, man, you got to eat a lot. But I was also eating a lot, so I mean, I'm just like, okay, well, as long as I don't do this for the next week.
It always kind of bothers me that you can't see your own reflection. It's like, I do like that. Like,
yes. We've already established that Hitman is in fact some sort of vampire. I mean,
yeah.
The funny thing is that it's like there is an entire. We talked about this plenty of times before. How it's just like there is a. By the way, there's Alexa right there. We talked about this plenty of times before. How it's just like every one of these characters has their backstory and everything so fleshed out and whatnot. It's just so ridiculous, and because then the next part of the story is, and then Hitman comes in and kills them. Like there's an entire story that we'll see unfold over the course of this, interrupted by the fact that Hitman comes in and kills somebody.
I wouldn't say interrupted. I would say it's the ending. It's like I almost wonder.
Well, no, it's more like if you're watching Star Wars and then you're like, hey, we haven't seen Darth Vader for like 20 minutes, and you find out that he's in a hamper on the hallway of the Death Star, dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like
Hitman is like this sort of, I don't know, godlike entity that just enters into a story and murders somebody.
Imagine Return of the Jedi, but instead of the way it played out, Luke Skywalker sneaks up behind Darth Vader, pushes him into the energy.
Skywalker, it's Hitman.
Well, I mean, let's see.
Because Hitman was not a part of this story prior to this point.
Hitman has infiltrated and taken on Mark Hamill's appearance in Return of the Jedi, and he is safely unconscious in like a stormtrooper closet. Then he goes in and he pushes Darth Vader. He sneaks up behind him and he pushes him into the energy well or whatever. And then he does the same thing to the Emperor 10 minutes later. And then that's the end of Return of the Jedi.
and then 3 hours later, Mark Hamill wakes up. And I mean, yeah, that's and you just be like halfway through the movie, like, hey, Luke Skywalker's looking kind of different, right?
Yeah. You're a little bit short for a stormtrooper.
He would probably actually be a bit taller, if anything.
I mean,
and
it's
bolder.
literally canon.
And he has this like barcode. Nobody notices the barcode.
You're talking about if the Hitman became Luke Skywalker. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, between the whole intrusive thought simulator of needing to push everyone off, like the entire thing with suburban Hitman and everything like that we saw, where Hitman cannot exist in the real world, and the way that he just kind of inserts himself into stories as we're seeing here.
Yeah.
He's like some sort of immortal, implacable force of nature. Or something that just comes in and ruins stories for everybody.
Yeah, because I mean, you're right. It's like it's a completely unsatisfying story. If these were like, because they fleshed it out so much that these are basically, to kind of paraphrase the Kodaka Danganronpa guy, he tries to make all the characters good enough, well fleshed out enough that they could be their own protagonist of their own game. And like that's how I definitely. I
mean, we did see like we did see a detective as we were walking into the manse in the first place.
Like I feel like they get like obviously professional writers, but I feel like they write an entire like novel about, or maybe just a simple novella about these characters off screen. Like they do that before.
At the very least, like a short story.
Like, I feel like they don't just backfill that because you have to have they have to know the basic story before they go and design the mansion, I think, to some extent. I don't know if that's true. Like, somebody who knows. I think you can probably
design most of the area, but it depends on, like, special rooms and stuff like that. Hey, how...
Yeah. I guess you could have like a format. You're like, oh, okay, we want this to take place at like a French mansion or something, and then
what a mansion looks like, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
With like the many just incredibly huge amount of portraits around here.
Does Hitman have its own a game engine? Do you know?
I want to say. Wait, is it using Unreal? I could not tell you.
Okay, I know Unreal has that really complex like. Room mapping stuff, so it might just be that they can do that modularly. I don't know, but I feel like they spend a lot of time thinking about like, okay, who's going to be the target, what's their backstory and stuff before they really like it doesn't feel like they write that after the fact. I don't know,
because a lot of it is completely irrelevant, and that's why it's pretty much the opposite of Persona 5, where you can't even imagine in Persona 5 like what what characters that are not the main character do on a daily basis.
Yeah, these people, like, I mean, you've even got, like, just random workers here. Like, and yeah, I realize, like, a lot of these people you can't actually interact with or talk to, but it's like, hey, they did...
That's because Hitman isn't a real person. He's a force of nature.
Yeah, exactly. He's Dracula.
He can only exist to kill people, as we've seen.
I just like how they just established this guy is just like a piece of shit, like just like
in 3 lines or what did you see there?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know anything else about this guy, but he's got a lot of money. He's not afraid to be a jerk about it. Like, in every word that you would hear from him. Like,
it's like, it is not like a super complex story, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like, it is. I do appreciate. We've talked so much about like the level of detail, but just like even in just like the basic character interactions, they do in fact put in the work. Low folly food, macarons and cheesecake, I guess. It's like
they
cheesecake
really
with like
did go
raspberry
to town
sauce
on
on
this. Like, they went to town on this level. Let's just be honest.
No, it's
like,
it definitely feels like a pretty good level in that way, because it does, it's a very austere English man's, as I said before.
Yeah. Like, you get the lighting effects. It's actually weird that they don't have the mirrors, given how much complexity they have otherwise. Like, I'm not even saying that it's like a critique. It's like, it's almost like
that is something appearing a lot more in video games these days. I remember that was always something, that and like not sleeping underneath the sheets. Although we did see that back in the Hokkaido mission.
Yeah,
we did see how Hitman
like
sleeps on a bed, which is just ludicrous.
Well, then again, I mean, if you were going to guess a character that would legitimately sleep like that, honestly, 47.
He wasn't
like
even sleeping. He was just lying on the bed, staring up at the ceiling.
Yeah, well, I mean, in fairness, he does seem like that kind of guy. Like, just I think, is it like Da Vinci Code or something, where they established that, hey, this guy just like he can wake up and be completely ready to go in a few seconds because he studied like.
Yes, the giant loaf of spam. Not quite as detailed on some of the sausages here, but then again, I suppose that is sausages. Also, I have not seen the Da Vinci Code. I have no idea.
This is from the novel. I actually read the book. It was a very high quality.
Doubly for that, then. There's the fish. Unfortunately, like I said, it doesn't work in the way. Whatever. We'll get more into that later.
I always love the food in these games. Just like, it's so over the top. It's not just that they have like, a spread here and there. Like, okay, that's reasonably impressive. It's like they always have like
it's an entire butcher shop that was on that one table there.
And there's like, there's snacks.
Oh yeah, and of course they also have macarons just everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is completely unnecessary, but like I'm just gonna do essentially another one of the story mission kills because it's right here.
Somebody just like leaning over a balcony and Hitman just like, I cannot resist this.
I mean, that's Hitman, though. He exists to murder. He is the best at murdering. He literally inserts himself into stories to murder people and disrupt the entire narrative.
Some people are like, every sign, that you see on any like the street signs and stuff, that's somebody being an idiot or something. Like, they needed that sign, and that's why that's there. Well, another way to look at it is every sign that you see is something where the hitman, is like, don't put your hands outside the car. Yeah, it's like, well, that's because the hitman has used that to kill, and he will kill again like that if you try it again.
That's why everybody's so interested in getting coins, because they know if there's a coin on the ground, there's like a 50% chance that somebody is going to be killed. Now, they don't really consider what that means if they go and look at it, but...
They know that they're getting out of the way of it, but then they're also avoiding complicity. Hey, I need money. I'm a cab driver. What are you gonna do? Like, not pick up a coin that's thrown? Like, I had no idea this would be a murder.
I was just looking the other way when somebody was murdered. I had to go look at that coin. I had to go look at that coin because otherwise I'd be complicit.
I mean, and that's a legal defense in the Hitman.
It's like a 50-50 shot. You're either being distracted so the Hitman can kill somebody, or you're going to be killed by the Hitman.
Do they have a court system or trials or anything like that in any of the Hitman games that you've seen?
An investigator in this very mission, and he's going to go out of this and be like, yeah, this is like the third or fourth time I've seen it. It was the Hitman. And they're like, well, are we going to bring him to justice? No, of course not. He could be anywhere. He could be anyone at this point in time. You just got to accept it.
He has no identifying characteristics. nothing obvious that you would be able to see if you
Trying to get him to trip on that fish. Well, like I said, it doesn't actually work that way. See, that was perfect.
And we're
Yes.
good to go.
No,
Well, I mean, the reason you have to pick up a coin is because, like, okay, there's fish, which is my favorite dish, but without the money, it's still a wish. And I don't like to dream about getting paid. So that's why I...
Yes, exactly.
So I looked through the coins.
See, and that guy knew that he had to go find that coin because otherwise it's just like... You can prosecute people who aid the hitman. You just can't prosecute the hitman.
Yeah, and actually, if you see who threw the coin, then you're on the hook. You're complicit, and the hitman has to kill you. So you have to pretend like...
Yeah, whatever. At least I used it.
You just did that so you could kill someone with a fish, I think.
I didn't kill him.
And, I mean, given this hedge maze, no one will find him for weeks.
I mean, I put him in the self-closing coffin. Nobody's going to find him. Nobody's going to find him or Darth Vader.
God, I love that there's an open grave. So there's...
Oh, yeah. No, you can see exactly where this is going right now, can't you?
Yeah. Are you literally going to bury him? Oh, no.
No,
This is probably for
yes.
the mission. Oh.
Well, we got to set that up first.
Yeah.
So just like I mean, I've already found the surprisingly, yeah, there was like just a whole like little puzzle thing there where I need to go look around for like, we didn't even mention that. Yeah, I'm actually using the gun. How about that?
Did you need to do that at all? For anything?
Yeah, because the reason why they can't continue on with the rehearsal or whatever is because there's too many birds around.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Finally, the birds are
So
Makes
yeah,
sense.
that takes care of that, of course.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
run
see. So
through
this is
everything.
literally... Oh, I see. So this is literally like a serve. This is the most exciting funeral outside of the Queen.
Man, could you imagine if I just put the fish in front of the grave though and she tripped right in there?
Yeah, there's something viscerally like about like burying somebody with a fish. I don't know because it's whatever a
Just
fertilizer.
toss the fish right on them because I can't get
Yeah.
them to fall in there with the fish.
Yeah.
Just taking in the surroundings as we're waiting for the dominoes to fall into place. No, that's not what's. As we're waiting for the house to be made out of cards.
This feels like a realistic rendition of the Super Mario World 64, or you know you know what I'm talking about. The
No.
Super Mario Brothers 64, whatever the N64 Mario game.
I take out. I say me slowly takes out fish.
I mean, it feels like the surrounding area of the castle if they just like made it really realistic.
Well, we actually had like the foggy marsh sort of area.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of just like
In other words, if the Mushroom Kingdom was England.
yes.
And they had, I would like to see a world where in Mario 64 it was they had a graveyard. Oh, wait, Big Boo's haunt. Never mind.
It is really unsettling that you're walking with that shovel.
Yeah, that's why I decided actually, speaking of that, I decided to just put it down there because it's just like, yeah, that's kind of weird. Huh?
Also the shovel.
Okay. But but it would be kind of weird if I was just carrying around that shovel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're the Undertaker.
I am indeed. I'm going to go slam a guy off the top ropes.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know anything. I don't know about. Anyway, there was another cut there where I stood in place for 5 minutes as what happens pretty regularly in Hitman 3 here.
So Alexa Carlisle doesn't recognize you. Is she's the one who's supposed to be dead, right?
Yes, this is her fake funeral.
Oh. Oh, wow, this is...
Or
yeah,
is
okay.
it fake?
What an awful idea.
Yeah, I just need you to go in front of this open coffin.
As you can see, Hitman just kind of standing there getting antsy. Like, come on. Look, I don't know how much longer that shovel is going to sit there before it suddenly starts like shaking rapidly and flies off into the sky, video game style.
What's that podium?
Because it really looks like it's about to do that.
I know this is just because it's like a model, but she really does look really sassy and sarcastic the way that she's walking.
She is.
Like
She just used the phrase toe cringing.
I've never understood the need to publicly display grief.
Like it's,
Never understood
again, for characters that we do not see a whole lot. Again, just like everything, and then the other thing where she was talking to like the portraits in the house and all that stuff.
this is a really well designed character, like just this this smug matriarch who's successfully faked her own death as far as she thinks.
And the gravestone.
And then once again, you can just see you're like, come on,
Well done, Mr. Parsons.
Get on with it.
hurry it up already. Might not have been able to put a fish here, but you know.
So, to sum up, I expect you to.
So to sum up, I'm invincible. I'm never going to die.
I've already died. You can't kill somebody twice. That would be impossible.
It'd be double jeopardy, and that's illegal according to the U.S. Constitution.
By the way, there's her bodyguard in the background that you can clearly see.
And
He's not very good at his job.
this is one of the differences between the United States and the UK. They don't have a written constitution, so they actually don't have protection against double jeopardy except as like a common law thing. So like, yeah, you're probably not going to get in trouble, but if you try to fake your own death and you're smugly walking around your own coffin, then it's actually legal to kill you at that point.
Yes, it's the I'm
Murder
trying to
is
think of like
legal
a
in the United
villain
Kingdom.
who died when doing like a speech or something in a movie. Nothing's coming up somehow. Anyway, I decided to change back in the bodyguard uniform because the Undertaker one is so ostentatious.
It's such a ridiculous spectacle to just like kill somebody at their own feet. This is such a ridiculous,
Especially with that guy still walking around the grave.
Yeah,
And then,
exactly.
and then I guess he got up and he looked at the covered grave and was just like, oh, I don't know. Huh?
Well, I thought you were faking your death, but now that I see that you're in this coffin, I guess you were actually dead all along. You were just a ghost haunting me this whole time. Okay, that makes sense.
We have
No,
not.
you idiot, let me out. What? Did somebody say something?
I swear to God, I'm not paying you not to dig me out of this grave right now. It's too late. Anyway, and that is the mission, baby. Or is it?
Yes, obviously. Like,
If you're watching this on YouTube, you might notice that the episode is only half over.
I wish it was all the way over.
Did you? Well, too bad. You are not going to get to watch your basketball sort of televisual broadcast until we're done with this. Because the thing is, the reality is, there's not just a goofy burying somebody in their own grave. There is indeed in this level a Myadah most foul.
What? Why do you say it like that?
Because that's how you say it when you're at an austere English manse, and there's a murder
okay.
most foul. Anyway, we're going to be following around the detective, and we are actually going to solve this murder mystery.
Famous private investigator.
No, not of Alexa. That's completely different.
So she's already dead right now, or is this a side mission to? What's happening?
Well, I suppose you'll just have to watch and find out as Hercule Poirot Hitman Poirot Hitman Poirot decides to solve the mystery of the death of somebody in the family.
This murder on the Orient Express. if you will.
You couldn't even come up. I came up with Hitman Poirot, and you couldn't come up with anything.
And then there were 40.
And by the way, at this point in time, an ear-splitting rendition. No, we couldn't possibly get the Poirot television series theme. We do have Suburban Hitman though, so you know. No, we don't have the rights.
Okay.
Well, that was less than 7 seconds, so I think we're okay. No. Yeah, we do have Suburban Hitman though. So Murder Mystery Hitman.
If you follow me.
Hitman Perot.
No, we don't have the rights for that.
Hitman Perot.
For God's sake.
Anyway.
That better not have been more than 7 seconds.
But then the
I think I got it over in 7 seconds.
Well, then I had to cut that out because otherwise we're going to be sued.
No, I mean, I think I got it over in 7 seconds, not that it was over 7 seconds.
Do jingles work that way? I'm not actually that familiar with copyright law.
Got it. Are we back to the math stuff?
No, we are doing just this. This is so ridiculous.
This is more like
anyway,
a vaudeville
yes, I
thing
could
about
disguise myself as the investigator, but I thought it would be more interesting if I just kind of followed him around and saw like the basic. I don't know. Considering the fact that I spotted no less than 2 routes to get inside the house unseen. Anyway, let me go use that right now. Whoop. It's funny because, you know, there was already an investigator in this series all the way back in Sapienza. And that was actually a character who could recognize that you were a hitman, or at the very least somebody suspicious, from, like, the get-go. This guy does not, which is kind of surprising.
Does this inspector, is this like, just like, is he over the top? I can't really hear his voice. Like, is he supposed to be like a ridiculous detective? Okay, yeah, I figured.
Yes, he's a very stereotypical...
and it's more Agatha Christie than Sherlock Holmes kind of thing.
I would say so.
Okay.
Well, actually, I don't know. It's like not necessarily. Yeah, more Agatha Christie. Yeah, you know what I'm going to say.
Okay.
You know, funny enough, my mom was actually a pretty big fan of the Poirot television series, so I have seen quite a bit of that.
Okay. I haven't seen that. I have not delved too much into this, despite the fact that I have read like a few of the Poirot novels and, you know, Sherlock Holmes and a lot of that stuff. I've watched a bunch of Columbo recently.
Okay, now if he was Columbo, that would be a different story.
Yeah.
But no, we're not. If he was like Kolchak the Night Stalker, now that would be amazing. But no, we're talking about, you know, your cozy mystery type of thing.
It's really amazing how, since Sherlock Holmes, like the detective is like one of the iconic characters of literature over the last like 150 years. Just like like it's hard to even think about the literature without a ridiculous person just like stalking around and making deductions and stuff. Like,
I don't know. It's like police, medical. There's such like standard stories.
I mean, you talk about like the respectable people of society. It's the lawyers, it's the doctors, and you've got to go with the scamps, the disreputable people, the detectives, and that's where drama really lives.
Yeah, the detectives or the not as good lawyers, or the residents,
or the teachers who decide to become methamphetamine, producers.
Well, anyway. So yeah, it's like you can see the basic shtick with this detective guy.
Or brilliant doctors who have chronic pain in their leg and thus turn to wild deductions.
to dull the pain, like pills, as Max Payne would say.
Yes.
And he knows something about pain.
He has a cacophony of pain in his brain. So yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's like yes.
So I'm just
yeah, we're doing this same basic thing because otherwise it's really hard to do suit only sort of investigation stuff around here.
For the viewers, and by the viewers I mean me. So does this mission start immediately after the prior one ends, and you have to do this? Like, is it like a save point? Like, it basically is a checkpoint when you get to this halfway point? Is that what they're doing here?
What?
Like, this part of the mission is clearly like broken into 2 halves. You kill her, and then you eliminate, or you get this case file to solve the crime.
Oh no, you can do it in any order that you want to. There's apparently also another way to actually get the case file that I didn't do, where you have to find like a special token from the butler and like from one of the family members, and you have to use that to open up I don't know. Obviously, I did the thing where I looked around for the numbers strewn about the room in a very video game puzzle fashion. in a very uncharacteristically Hitman video game puzzle fashion, to be honest.
You can't kill the detective, right? Like that.
Oh,
would
I
just
can.
break the. You can. Okay, but it.
Yeah,
it doesn't
I can
end the
assume
mission?
his identity, and I can accuse people of crimes if I want to.
Oh wow.
But I chose not to because I don't know. I don't want to kill the protagonist. Look, Hitman already is a character who disrupts stories so much. Does he need to kill the protagonist of other stories?
Does he need to kill? Yeah, like that would be a little bit. That would be a little bit obscene.
Oh, but absolutely, there's like an entire story mission where you're able to, like solve the mystery as the detective by assuming his identity. It's
That
just,
and then
there's that sort of thing where yes, I know Hitman is an implacable force of nature and everything like that, but does he need to completely ruin everybody's life? He's already killing a person.
uh-huh. I mean, I'm
Like,
just picturing.
the funny thing is I actually did that all the way back in Sapienza as well. The whole thing where it's like I could have just finished the mission by disguising myself as the detective, but that guy was a different protagonist, and I feel bad taking out a different protagonist.
Yeah, I see.
Like,
I actually
surely Hitman
totally
has
get
to
that.
have respect for other protagonists of other stories, right?
I feel like that's his whole thing is that he doesn't though. I mean, he just ends their lives and
True,
indifferent
Hitman. Okay, fine, I do. Hitman doesn't.
Yeah, the Hitman has no feelings.
Hitman is he is murder man. He is Mr. Kill. He kills people.
yes.
That's his existence. He does not think about it. He does not. Oh, by the way, yes, you can kill somebody with a unicorn horn, which would be pretty funny, but I didn't end up doing that. I just took it for the sake of taking it, I guess. I don't know.
There's nothing bad has ever happened from killing a unicorn. Let me just say.
Well, it's not. It's clearly a statue. It's not a real unicorn.
Explains a lot.
It seems like a.
Hitman has not killed a real unicorn. We still have not gotten to the point where it's gotten completely fantastical yet. And Hitman is going to kill, Darth Vader, basically. We already said Darth Vader.
I don't see how it would make sense though if you kill the detective and then accuse people of crimes. Like, I mean, that detective does the detective just have to wind up dead later? Like, wouldn't it be obvious that a different person from this detective?
Hitman's already halfway across the world by that point.
I see. Okay.
Well, I'm sure I left 20 quid in my
I mean,
of
I
like
think
you just-
I think that's been pretty clear with every mission, where it's just like eventually people are going to figure out that, man, two of these very prominent, important people died right next to each other, and then we're shoved into hampers.
Yeah. Into this.
I'm not
self-closing
suspicious. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, I guess Alexa already supposedly died though. So I mean, I feel like there's a little bit of like. How does that get resolved in this mission? Like, what would you say?
Well, now she's actually dead. Look, I'm going to be honest. There's the entire thing here, of course, where it's just like, yeah, that's how you did. By the way, yes, we are getting some more camera usage here.
So we're just following this, essentially this professional, brilliant detective who is just
Yeah, he
immediately
was
placing
walking
the-
around where nobody else would be able to see him, and I would be able to shove him into one of the many self-closing coffins, like right there. He's right next to one right there.
You're just following him around and just completely, not even trying to hide yourself, really, just by standing behind him, kind of.
Because, like I said, the one back in Sapienza would have actually noticed that I was suspicious and yet he was like a noir detective, for God's sake. Like the wisecracking, like a cigar and whiskey glued to his hand, thin man. He's basically Thin Man guy.
So Sapienza, that was the one who was like you meet underneath the.
That was the one with DNA,
complex.
Senator DNA specific virus.
Yeah, and you meet him like, or you pretend to be him in order to meet that woman at the contact spot. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, obviously, I
kind
didn't
of-
eventually go with that. I did something different, but
Okay.
it's like I said. I don't like. He was the protagonist of that story.
And now this really brilliant, perceptive detective sees somebody wearing the same clothes as the person who's been following them around, suddenly just like idly dusting the liquor cabinet.
Yep. Yeah, it's a weird discrepancy here. But then again, it's just like, I don't know, maybe this guy's not as good as Nick Charles.
I mean, this is basically like kind of an escort mission or a semi-stealth mission. It just doesn't make a lot of sense that you would do
All
this
of
with
these
this
missions are stealth missions. What are you talking about?
I know. I'm just saying within the Hitman logic, this is
Even
also
within the
kind of...
Hitman logic, they're all stealth missions.
I know, but this is the Hitman equivalent of an escort mission, is what I'm saying. Like, this is like, oh, you're
We
just following this guy around.
literally took Arthur Charles, or whatever the constant's name was, escorted him out of Seguile. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that, actually.
Oh my god. I should have made you start out this episode also recounting the story so far. Until you do it right.
Well, I was just idly making conversation in this hour-long episode. I didn't think
Say
you'd
this
have,
like we didn't spend an hour and a half in
this
Colorado.
meltdown.
Come on, this is hardly the worst.
Yeah.
Something suspicious about that photograph, you say. Or, well, I guess it's a painting.
Does it have footprints, or is there something behind it? Is it a false...
Late older brother, located in the sitting room, the room where you sit.
Huh, but he's standing up.
Well, anyway, pretty much from this point, the detective just kind of goes around in a circle like we've already seen, so let's go elsewhere.
Okay.
Right now, it's just like we're not even... Right now, it's just like... It's funny because we're not even really entirely sure, unless you've been paying attention to the dialogue, we're not even really entirely sure why there is a detective here just yet.
I haven't been paying any attention. No, I mean,
Because it's just like, why would Alexa be having somebody investigate her death when she's alive?
That's a really good point. So it's almost like she knew that you would kill her.
Look, the detective's not going to be able to do... You can't... Nobody can detect the Hitman. He's a godlike entity that ruins stories.
Well, I mean...
He's a fan fiction character. Mary Sue character that ruins stories.
Like, if you're a Mary Sue who likes to ruin stories, then... I mean, if you're a character, like, who identifies with protagonists who ruin stories, then this is for you. I guess the whole concept of a Mary Sue is somebody who ruins stories by being incredible. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the people writing those type of characters would think of their character like that.
They don't, but it's like that's what they're doing. It's like, I mean, they're like, oh, they're unreasonably intelligent and liked, and you know, everyone
intelligent and stealthy and able to murder anybody at any point in time.
Yeah, those classic Mary Sue characters.
It is so funny to think that Hitman is more or less the anti-Persona 5.
Is it, or are you just...
Or maybe just like a dark twist on it.
I get... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. I was like saying that, is it, like, sarcastically, and then I'm like...
We
no, actually...
definitely talked about that before, right?
Don't think we have, actually. I mean, just like this murderer, he just goes in and he's not really...
He kills, influential people, but, the people also are more fleshed out and interesting and layered and stuff like that.
It's odd because they didn't even
He does not have the sort of moral quandary and I've definitely at least at some point in time made that observation, maybe like on a stream or something.
Yeah, probably on a
stream. Don't mind me, I'm just
mentioned...
going to climb right through this window.
No.
Yeah, probably on a stream somebody mentioned this is just like Persona 5 and how long it is, and you said, well, actually, it's quite like
how long it is and just how long we're taking.
Yeah.
Look, I'm doing better with it. Hey, when was the last episode? A week ago? That's like a 5,000% increase in speed here.
I'm missing basketball for this, you guys. This is a sacrifice on my part.
Damn basketball. You're always hanging it over my head like some sort of Damocles. Did we make that reference already, or was that one of the previous recordings?
Probably one of the previous recordings. Yeah, we record every episode 5 times. Well,
I record every episode 5 times. You just happen to be on for this series.
Yeah.
It's funny how much I do and redo that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's like I said that as like a joke, but then I'm like, actually, the sitting room, but that's where her brother was, her late brother, who wasn't
That's where the
even
portrait
sitting.
of him won. That would be weird if the late brother was there. By the way, I definitely did not find this the first time that I was going through this mission before I decided to start recording it, and it's just like, all right, well, I guess that murder solved.
Oh, okay.
That is a very detailed letter.
So wait, so she was she expecting the kid to murder her?
Stating that Emma,
Evidently.
And then
Maybe.
we just ruined that.
I didn't even find that the first time. I didn't know that was there until I was doing this one, which is why I'm sort of like,
There's no family without secrets, 47. But this family seemed to outdo most.
I feel like that was a bit anticlimactic.
But walk me through this plot. What happened? So why did
Okay,
she
well, we
freak
still
out?
don't know how whatever.
What do you mean whatever? What happened? What has happened in this mission? What are we looking at?
What has happened in this mission? Whatever, just go with it. Look, there's been a murder. Murder most foul. Myadah most foul.
For the viewers, and by the viewers I mean me. What is happening? Like,
Okay,
what-
fine. For the viewer, as we'll find out pretty quickly, I mean, there have been people talking about how there hasn't just been the death of Alexa. Her brother, Zachary, has also been Myadah.
Myadah most foul.
Private investigator trying to figure out exactly why that is, and apparently it was Emma.
Oh, okay.
The daughter-in-law to Alexa who did that, who as outlined in that letter right there very clearly. It's like I didn't even get to see Zachary's room and see like the corpse or anything. It's just they just kind of told me there.
Yeah, they're just letters.
But we still don't know how the murder happened, so we do have to investigate that.
So, but as the perpetrator, she would stand to inherit a fortune.
Why everybody would stand to inherit a fortune? They're like the head of the shadow government, you know. By the way, that guy doesn't see me. It's fine. No, it's fine.
Yeah, you could probably throw a coin to really throw him off, but you don't need to.
I mean, I certainly.
Oh, that looks like such a comfortable bed.
In the middle of the room seems a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
Whiskey in the bottle.
Oh, it's whiskey in the jar.
Oh no.
The dead body of Zachary Carlyle, Alexa's little
Oh
brother.
no.
I wonder what happened to him, 47.
We already know. I found the letter. Clearly should have gone into this room first, but what do you want from me?
Oh, he was killed by poison, like he was clutching at his own.
Short-lived plant poison around 10 p.m. last night. Wow, that's a powerful camera.
Short-lived, I believe, is what they would say in English.
Myadah most foul.
The short-lived Zachary Carlyle.
I actually don't know why this is. Why he was searching for boots. But this is a thing that I found out.
Shopping for Wellington boots.
Before he was Myadah.
This is such a stupid.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you not enjoying the Myadah of Hitman?
These aren't real accents. These are just things that we made up.
It was never a real accent.
I know.
I mean, like your assumption that it's like there was some sort of real accent to be had in the first place.
No, I was not asserting that at all. I was just reflecting on where we had come thus far.
Look, we start out with a grilled cage, and now we move on to Myadah.
That's not even the name. It's a death in the family. A death in the family.
Maybe this episode should have been called Myadah was Meow. By the way, there's the shortcut stuff that I talked about in the previous episode actually being used. Would have been helpful if I managed to find that before, pretty much finishing up with the mission.
Well, I mean that's how it goes in Dark Souls too. You have to get through the whole game before you can start using the shortcuts. There's no way to speedrun that game, I don't think.
No, it's impossible to speedrun Dark Souls. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've actually ever seen like an actual speed run. To break the kayfabe here, I don't know if you've ever actually seen like a speed run of Dark Souls.
Yeah,
but there's like a point where you just like straight up, what is it, like throw an item on the ground in a specific place to warp yourself to one of the bells.
Oh, so I always thought it was like, oh, you were able to get through a shortcut in the village, like the undead village, right?
I mean,
away.
that is a shortcut of some variety. It's just the sort of shortcut where you teleport by glitching yourself through the floor.
Yeah, I'm surprised that game is susceptible to speedruns, especially given how tightly the second half of the game goes.
Tightly, man. That has always been a huge disappointment for Dark Souls. It's just like, man, I love that game, but straight up it is only half a game.
Yeah, the second half is just, well, there's a branch boss, and you have to hit the
There's the
branch
worst
and
boss you might fight in any video game. Probably not. We played Omicron.
Yeah.
Remember the final boss in Omicron?
Yes, I do. Among other levels in that game.
I mean, there's many. The Zone 17 roofs, as we all remember.
Yes,
okay,
that's
anyway.
what I was thinking of. Yes, okay.
It's like, I don't know why I'm hanging around outside here. I can easily go and start cleaning up that one encounter again. You know, something I just realized right now, we talked so much about how we were going to make comparisons to Sexy Brutale as we're doing the series, and now we're actually in an austere British manse, and we have not mentioned it once.
Well, you just did.
Okay, that's an episode. Let's end it right now.
Yeah, let's wrap.
Let's wrap, y'all. I'm Doc Firebird. I'm here to say that eating fruits and vegetables is A-okay.
I like that there's this like tradition of rap that's just like, hey everybody, I'm here and I've got some rhymes. So sit down, everybody.
Tradition?
Yeah, like the
only time I can actually think about that is Wonder Mike. My name is Wonder Mike, and I'm here to say hello. That's like the only one I can think of. Is there like a different? Are there any other tracks where people do that?
I mean, they do it in He Got Game with Jesus Shuttlesworth. Like, my name is Jesus. That is my name. What's up with these questions about my game or my plans? Whatever.
Okay, you know what? That's two is enough to be a pattern. Yeah,
I mean, it goes back to I think the early days of like hip like MCs and stuff. So.
Right. Well, yeah, certainly the Sugar Hill Gang is the early years of rap. Yes.
Yeah.
What a weird tangent that we've gotten on here.
Yeah. Let's rap. It wasn't even like it's based on the stage phrase "Let's rap," which is W-R-A-P, and doesn't even.
Yeah, I know. I just jumped.
Just like
to honestly do a very nonsensical bit.
I know, but I was already like when I said it, I was like, well, we should do like.
I jumped. Good to know that we're sharing the same brain cell in this episode.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if people. I mean, when Lin-Manuel Miranda cuts, is it confusing when he says "Let's rap"?
Oh my God! Shut up!
Is he starting a scene or ending a scene? Like, let's rap how he starts.
It's a good thing this episode's done. I mean, it's not, but you know, gasp. Wait a second. So Zachary wasn't the only intended murder?
Like it was
a perfectly preserved mint julep.
That could kill a full-grown man. Also, there's poisonous flowers around here too.
There's enough mint julep here to kill a horse.
Yeah, well, that horse was the head of the shadow government, so it's fine.
Oh, okay.
Who's working with Senator DNA-specific virus?
Have we established mint julep on this?
I do not think we've ever. I think we've talked about mint julep
it's always
several times without actually.
It's a curse. It's like we've referenced it so many times.
Yeah, just jeez.
Oh, how curious. Get in.
That was really close.
The self-closing hiding space / coffin.
He's fine. Get out of here. Get out of here. Nobody looks in these.
Get out of here. Go. Just go.
Come on. Yeah, that's right. I had absolutely no idea that people actually came into the greenhouse.
Are you supposed to kill her?
No, that's the murderer.
So she's the murderer. So it would not make sense to kill her. Is that what you're saying? Like we're not.
Well, she's also not the target.
Oh,
so
okay.
You know,
you
that
wouldn't get
entire
silent assassin if you killed her, even though we know that she's the murderer now.
good cutscene set up there. Also, wait, what? Wait. Huh?
What?
Oh, what? Really?
What?
Wait, really?
What?
Okay, I honestly did not see this coming when I was playing this.
Okay.
I thought I was just gonna end like, oh, and there's the end of the murder mystery, and now it's just like, oh.
Uh-huh.
Let's see this one play out.
Okay. So, I'm assuming we're done with murder now.
I mean,
Like,
well, we were
there's
supposed to be done with murder when I actually finished the,
no murders
the
are
mission the first time.
So no murders are ever going to happen again. Now that we're done with the mission, we've completed. Oh, we just need to get the.
Yeah,
case
that's
file.
right. Alexa Carlisle was the last person to ever die. Hitman is retiring after this point, and
And also, the immortality serum was developed in both the game and in real life.
Damn you,
So-
Senator DNA-specific virus.
Well, I mean, that research, it was basic research, and we didn't know how much that would... Wasn't the whole point of that, like, to kill people based on their DNA or something, like, stupid like that? Like,
Yes, I think you sussed that out from the name.
I mean, we talked about it, I think, on the episode. But it's like
So did
something
the
like-
episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, at this point in time, I'm just kind of following her around with just like, where is this going?
I like the idea of that dastardly plot in the context of Hitman to be able to kill one specific person based on their DNA only. Like,
That's
like-
literally a plot in Metal Gear. Do you remember that?
Well, it's also Death Note too. I mean, pretty
Okay,
much.
yeah, I suppose if the Death Note was a virus, come on now.
If the name is your DNA, and if you
Yeah,
think about signatures, it kind of is.
I mean, I suppose sort of.
I'm just kind of I'm just kind of spinning here.
Just kind of spinning as things are just happening. By the way, hey, remember when you were saying earlier in the episode where it's just like, if I don't actually do anything and the person dies anyway?
Mm-hmm. I like that you're continuing to like scrub the.
Yep. There you go.
Like,
No, it definitely does count. I didn't do anything there.
it definitely does count.
I did absolutely nothing for that one. I just fixed the distillery.
That is
So that was one of the more ridiculous ways to kill people. All right, let's enjoy the old movie.
Need to find
Okay.
She will know what to do. I wish there had been more time.
And then there were none. Thank you, Miss Burnwood. Now, it's my turn.
Stay down. Boss wants you alive.
Yeah?
How about now? Over here! Cover me! Walk away! Or what? You gonna take us all on?
Don't.
Tell the Constant to start running!
You think you've won? 47 is out there. And 47 never misses his mark.
Neither do you, Miss Burnwood. That's what makes you valuable.
You're delusional. You think I would betray 47?
Trust me, you owe him nothing.
What is this?
I told you we could help each other, and I meant it. I look forward to your call.
Gray is gone. Go to Berlin and stay out of sight. We're all that's left now.